So our last word problem is a triangle has an area of 36 feet. If the base, feet squared, if the height of the triangle is 6 feet more than the base, what are its height and base? So the first step here will be to draw our triangle. It's going to look like this, let's say, which means our base we don't know, so I'm going to use the variable b, and our height h is equal to our base plus 6, right? Because it says here the height is 6 feet more than the base plus 6. We also know that the area is 36 feet squared, and the area of a triangle is equal to 1/2 base times height. So if we go ahead and plug in our values, our variables or expressions for base and height, and our value for area, then we can come up with an equation here. So we have 36 for area is equal to 1/2 b for base, parentheses b plus 6, and I am substituting in the expression that h is equal to in for h, right? Then we'll go ahead and multiply things out. So we'll get 36 is equal to 1/2 times b squared plus 6b. We can get rid of this 1/2 by multiplying both sides by 2, right? So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of that fraction. So this will be 72 is equal to b squared plus 6b. Now from here, I want a 0 on one side of the equal sign, so I'm going to subtract 72 from both sides of the equal sign. So I'll be left with b squared plus 6b minus 72 is equal to 0. Right? Notice here that I also wrote it in with the b squared minus 6b minus plus 6b minus 72 on the left side of the equal sign. So from here, we have the problem that we're accustomed to, right? X squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we can go ahead and draw our x. Our a times our c is going to be negative 72. Our b is 6. And now we need to have two factors that multiply to negative 72 but add up to negative 6. So since we're multiplying to a negative number, one is going to be negative and the other factor is going to be positive. And so if we think about it, well, 12 and 6 are factors of 72, and 12 and 6 add up to positive 6. So my 12 is going to be positive, my 6 is going to be negative, and we can go ahead and write our equation, right? So we're going to say b minus 6 times b plus 12 is equal to 0. And then we know if a times b is equal to 0, then either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. So we'll solve for b. b minus 6 is equal to 0, or b plus 12 is equal to 0. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And so b is equal to 6 on one end. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides, and we get b is equal to negative 12 on the other side. So our possible answers are b is equal to 6 or b is equal to negative 12. So if base is a negative number, is that even possible, right? Can the length of the base of the triangle be negative? No, right? So this one, base cannot be negative. So we know that the answer is that the base is equal to 6, right? So my base is going to be equal to 6 feet, and my height is going to be equal to 6, which is our base, plus 6 is 12. So my height is going to be 12 feet. And we are done.